I'd like to ask Paul, since you've mentioned the Edgewater, and being a downtown resident until just recently, I found the whole process to be quite divisive. And I'm wondering, how would you have done it differently? I did see you at several meetings. Thank you.
I would have done it differently, though the way I describe it, Dave says that's the way they did it. Let me explain what I think the role of the mayor is in this particular function. The role of the mayor, as I said in the introduction, is to help with the vision, help identify problems, and not just help, to identify problems and work us towards those solutions. When we get to the specifics, that is not the role of the mayor. Now, what I would have done is once the developer came in, assuming that I liked the concept and the project, instead of endorsing a specific design and specific project, I would have said to the developer, go out there through the normal process of working with the neighborhood, go to the plan department staff, you'll go through the plan commission, I will be watching. My staff and I will be carefully involved. We will make sure that this thing moves along, that you're not in a delayed process, and we will get results. Now, what happened is once there was a commitment from the mayor's office to a specific design, what we ended up happening was first a tremendous reaction by the neighborhood and the neighborhood association, and then we had a developer who then became intransigent. The developer, feeling that the mayor had endorsed a specific project, now was inflexible and you had a collision. When we did the State Street Mall, I learned an awful lot, which not only was good for the mall, but I think was good in terms of my experiences. Here's what happened. We selected an architect based on the architect's design. At that point, once we hired the architect put all the drawings away. I said, what are you doing? And the architect said, watch. And we started a charrette process. And in that process, we invited in the people who own property on State Street, the people who had the shops. We invited in, obviously, all the people who walk State Street, and we also were very thoughtful, or he was. We invited in the people who didn't go to State Street, the folks who stayed away. And from that, you see what the design is. Now, it wasn't perfect, but it worked. And that design out there, that design is the product of the people of the community. Now, it's not always going to be that way in a private project. In fact, in private projects, when we get to design, I think we need to be very careful because I really prefer to see the architects let loose. They are the artists. Our job, for example, in urban design, our job is to make sure the design standards are met, but not to impose our own tastes. That's how I'd handle those kinds of projects.
Well, I sort of wish that it had happened the way Paul described it, because he described this uber powerful mayor who comes in and endorses a project and it doesn't change. But that's not what happened. The truth is, the developer took a couple stories off and moved the building back after I endorsed it. I didn't particularly endorse a design, but I did endorse the project pretty strongly. And here's why. We have an economy in which, in some of our building trades, 1 out of 3 people is unemployed. These are good family supporting jobs. We have a situation in which, while the city of Madison, that can't possibly be true. Only for 2 minutes.
1 minute. 1 minute.
A 1 minute response.
Because it was to his
question. And now I've wasted 50 seconds asking the question. Well, because of jobs, because of the need for tax base, and because I really think it is a beautiful project that will increase public access to the lake. I did support it, and I think that sometimes a mayor does need to show leadership on these things, even when he knows that maybe it's not to his political advantage.